Hello everyone. It's been probably 2-3 weeks since my last video. I've now got 3 separate parcels and this big parcel, but I'm only going to be doing the big parcel in this video because different parcels are going to be uploaded at different times. One I'm saving for the Southampton card show after that. What is this? Over 200 genuine specimens. Oh, look, I've brought some crystals and fossils by the looks of it. One has got another parcel that's going to come with it to make the video. And the other... I'm actually confused. One of them actually does go with this parcel. So let me just have a look. 1 second. I'm going to pause it there. 1 second. Hello, I'm back. Yes. I think one of my other parcels is wrong. I've not actually looked at it yet. But this big parcel has 2 cards from another parcel with it. This is something... I first became aware of this... I suppose it is a card game. Yeah, I first became aware of this card game in 2020 or 2021. There was a article on the Guardian website. Oh, he's used elastic bands, people. Talking about this game because it's... I've described it to someone who I speak to online as it's notorious, famous for what it is. And the game is Illuminati New World Order. So you can see that's a puppet on the strings. The Illuminati is meant to control everything. I'm a bit annoyed with the lackey bands, but this game is how shall I put it? Some people say that it's predicted the future. Some people say it's just a coincidence. However, my way of looking at that is if something happens once, it's a coincidence. If something happens multiple times, then it starts to look a little bit suspect. Do you get what I mean? So, the general story of this goes, bloke was making a book and board game about in the 80s. In 1990, I think his name's Stephen Jackson, it might be. In 1990, the FBI raided his apartment. They took all of his artwork, all of his scans, all of his pictures, and they confiscated it all. Now, with what's going on with the Epstein list, and it's all presidents and big celebrities on it, and the FBI know about it, it's like they were trying to cover it up. Now, this is all fancy-dancy conspiracy stuff, but we're going to go through some of these cards. Double Cross, Diesel Engine, Deep Agent. Some of these you can read your own conclusions into, but some of these cards are quite famous. Dictatorship, Death Mask, Emergency Powers, Early Warning, Are We Having Fun Yet? Plan B, Albino Alligators. I haven't got the full set, although that looks like a lot of cards. There's like 450 cards in the main set. Then they did an expansion of another 86 cards. These are from 1994/1995, depending where you look at. So some cards in here are just entertaining for me. So I would say the first one so far is Bigfoot. But there are some that looks like Churchill. There are some in here that are literally just entertaining for myself. So there's going to be, say, a Loch Ness Monster card in a minute. But it's like, obviously all through the 90s, the IRA car bombs and stuff. Currency speculation. People say this is like a nod to Bitcoin. So, multiples of these cards you can look at and say, obviously, earthquakes, there's been famous earthquakes that have happened, but God, we're on Earth, it's going to happen. So you can't really look at them ones and say stuff like that. how far till all these protesters for world peace, animal rights, gay rights start doing that? This was 94, 95. Now, think of all the problems the jihads have caused in this world. It's just the internet worm. Obviously, there was the millennium bug, stuff like that. This one, for regular viewers, you can see why this card entertains me. Hitler's brain. I obviously have the graded Hitler card, so that was quite entertaining, I thought. Flying saucer. I do like a bit of the old UFO conspiracies and all that kind of thing. But yeah, if you ever heard of these before, I'm sure you know there's the Illuminati sign hidden in there. I'm sure you know what the main card is. There's two probably notorious cards, but since this blew up in 2020, I thought it was 2021 I saw about it, obviously something else was happening at that time. Crystal Skull, obviously they found it. Is it fake, blah blah blah, or is it from the future? Right, this is one of the big cards. This is why in 2020 or 2021 it made the headlines, because as well as predicting other big stuff, there was this card. And as you can see, there's a vaccine, PPE mask, the gloves. We were all in quarantine. Now, I know you can say, oh, but there was the Spanish flu in 1910 or whenever it was. Yeah, so whatever. But for this card game to keep having cards that can potentially be linked to big events in the world, and people say at the moment, obviously China is the main guilty suspect, but the vaccine, they're saying Bill Gates and a couple of other billionaires want the population down, and they've created vaccines for a new disease called Disease X, and that's going to be spreading in the next couple of years, and it's going to be more successful than COVID and basically kill quite a chunk of the population and stuff. So I love all this kind of stuff. I do think that there's a dark side to the world living out there. I don't go as far as being one of them people who think the royal family are lizard people, but look at the Epstein list and all that. This is something else. Political correctness. It wasn't even a thing back there. Now you've got to be careful what you say. Look at this. Used insensitive pronoun. This was from 94, 95. It would have came out earlier if the FBI didn't raid him. I was growing up, playing football, playing Game Boy games. Pokemon just came on the scene. No one was talking about pronouns. Now, you hear it 15 times a day from all that twatty bunch of people. The Purge, obviously. The movies. The people in charge are always corrupt. Nuclear accident. Obviously, Chernobyl happened before this game came out, but there's since been the nuclear problem in old Japan. Oh, actually, one second. What do you think? All coincidence, or is there a little bit more to it? I do like political correctness because as someone who goes to a lot of comedy shows that are strictly non-PC, because I think the world is fucking crazy, and I would rather go back to caveman times fighting and killing than dealing with a 6'8" bloke who's decided he wants to be a woman and call himself Pam and gets offended when you call him a geezer. I just don't want to be on this planet at this time. Sniper bribery. Here's another one for me. Like I say, I do enjoy the aliens and all that. Anyone here seen the film Signs? That's a great film, that is. Right, it's going to be a longer video than I expected. Oh, here we go. Speaking of the pronoun gang. Gay activists. You know the type. To me, scum. But it is what it is. Princess Di, obviously, look at all the paps around her. I think it was 6-7 months after this game came out, she did the interview or the voice recording saying, my husband's gonna cut my brakes, cause head injury, blah blah blah. 2 years later, she actually got papped in the tunnel, dead, and it was the paps who did it. So that is a pretty powerful card as well. The Holy Grail in whatchamacallit, loads of the films down the way, ain't there? Hunting for the Holy Grail. And how's this? Cool card. World Hunger. Obviously, your Live Aid and all that came before this, so you can't really say that was one of the predictions. But yeah, this game is like, you know, every time a big event happens, they go, the Simpsons have predicted it. It's the same with this. Something happens. Here's the big one. That is the card. This was in 1994/95. My cat is doing my head in again. Been awake all night because this cat again. I haven't slept in 8 months because of you, and you're pissing me off again. But this is the big card. That is literally the Twin Towers, isn't it? The bloke was making the game. The bloke was putting out these cards, or were they predictions of the grander scheme? Some people say that it was all a setup. They lost, what, $2.3 billion or $1 trillion the day before it was announced. With that, a day later, oh, towers have gone down and the Pentagon's been bombed. Remember that last statement as well for later on. But it just seems too much of a... I like this. You know, this shroud of in Rome, innit? With Jesus' face on, they believe. Interesting. I think that's been proved fake, but it is still cool. I'm not a Jesus boy, obviously. But imagine if that was real. I'd be mad. And here we go. The Pentagon being bombed. I'm sorry. They could have picked anything. They could have done Statue of Liberty being bombed, or they could have done the Empire State Building, or they could have done, Christ, the Hoover Dam. To get those two, and then it happens on the same day, that's funny, that. Obviously, multinational oil companies, all of the world wars these days are over oil. Japan, obviously we've had the earthquake card, and now there's a Japan card. Are they linked? It's just, there's so many little things in this game. This one, I don't personally think you can jump to the conclusion, but they've done a jogger's card. No one ever expects a harmless jogger. And then the Boston Marathon. Do you remember? So people were saying, like, is that another one possibly? Obviously, as a Brit, Maggie Thatcher, quite a cool one to have. MI5 as well. The British intelligence agencies have been hiding things in plain sight since the First World War, at least. Well, they're as bent as the Americans' FBI and all that, you'd imagine. A place I'd love to go. Here we go. There's another controversial kind of card, like Hitler's brain. The KKK. Ku Klux Klan. There's actually... That is... The amount of people who used to be linked to that if you were a, like, Southern American celebrity, and it'd be like the end of you. Even Trump was linked, wasn't he? And now you look at, well, you could be in a Hollywood A-lister and be a paedophile on Epstein's Island, so pot kettle black. But there's a great comedy based on that. It's called, I think it's called Black Klansman, and a black man tries to infiltrate the KKK, and it's actually a hilarious film. Germany. Oh yeah, one for you lads, you pervs. The FBI's obviously in here. MI5's in here. All the bent stuff. You've got France with all the Muslims taking over at the moment. Hillary Clinton. Now this is one of the main cards at the moment, I would say, because she allegedly, I am saying this is allegedly online, but she's meant to be one of the biggest people on the Epstein list with Bill Clinton, and there's supposed to be a very dodgy video of her on the dark web. The 12 police officers who viewed it, 9 have since killed themselves. That's how bad it is. If anyone wants to deep dive into that in their own time, you're more than welcome. Hey, Nessie. Obviously, as a former MetaZoo fan before it was ruined, there was meant to be a Loch Ness Monster promo sent to the UK. Never received, because MetaZoo fuck everything up. So I've now got a Loch Ness Monster card. March on Washington. Remember, Trump was voted out, and you had the marches and the insurrection, as they call it. It's like all this stuff. They're predicting it all. Like, it's just too many to be a coincidence, I would say. Bank of England, the Templars, Da Vinci Code and all that. Trekkies, vampires. Oh dear. Here we go. The Men in Black. Obviously, aliens have been knocking about for years. Over the last couple, it's been more and more mainstream of them trying to leak it to us, or are they using it as a smokescreen for the real evil in the world? The Vatican. Obviously, there's rumours at the Vatican as well. And facts. Obviously, the Nazi priests. Tabloids. Obviously, they report everything because the big distraction. You know, I've got a questionable collection going. If you watch this channel, Bin Laden, Hitler, Putin. I've now got my first Saddam Hussein card. So, as I say, another card interesting for me. Robot sea monster. If that's just a sea monster, I would have had it. Russia, speaking of Putin. South American Nazis. I didn't actually realise this card was in the bundle, because as I say, I've only got, I think I've got about 300 of the 450 base set. But that's obviously the story that Hitler escaped and went to Argentina. Ronald Reagan. You either like him or you don't if you're American. The Reformed Church of Satan. Bingo every Friday. Stonehenge is a Brit. NASA. We've just had a programme in the UK about a big situation that happened with the post office. Obviously, this is an American game. They wouldn't have been predicting that in the UK, but it's just interesting to see. I've had Princess Di, and here's Prince Charles, who's now the king, obviously. Prince Charles and his master and his puppets are all immune to privileged attacks. And when you see Prince Andrew, obviously he's definitely a Nazi geezer, isn't he? He was on the island. But the Queen paid £15 million of our British taxpayers' money to get rid of it. Immune to attacks. Let's hope one day he is behind bars, like the rest of them. Save the whales. Makes me think of Rodney in Only Fools and Horses, when he met Cassandra and turned into an awful character. Rain of Frogs. So this is interesting. I said earlier about the 2.3 trillion, and it was front page news the day before 9/11. There's front page news with 23 on. It's just, people say it's them predicting it again. Obviously, the world wants a monopoly on oil. Go. Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Right, you are going to do my head in, aren't you? 2 seconds, people. I've got this animal who's an absolute twat. Don't knock him off, else I'll knock you off. So yeah, anything that can go wrong does go wrong. That's my life. Mutual betrayal. Obviously, none of these cards are in great condition. They came, you saw how they were packed. The top one up there, Tornado, I can see there's like teeth marks in it. But I've been looking at these cards for a while. Obviously, what's going on in the world right now with your Palestine and Israel. It's flavour of the month again. I swear to God, Cat. This is what it's like every day of my life. Fast food chains, obviously. You've seen the McDonald's burgers that are sold and 10 years later they still look the same. What are they putting in them burgers? Selling to the millions to control us. Obviously, who doesn't like Jurassic Park? And there's Dinosaur Park. We'll keep that one as one I like. Oi oi. Fidel Castro. To be fair, he could go on my list of, how shall we politely say it? People whose country you wouldn't want to be in at the time. Here goes that list, couldn't he? Madonna. Flat earthers, twats. Eco gorillas. Obviously, now you've got these twats in the orange shirts that are turning up everywhere. Just Stop Oil. Ruining sporting events and everything. But you've got 25 people who come from all different parts of the country. Say they've come from Scotland, South Coast, and Ireland. They've all got to London to throw some powder on the snooker table. Well, how do you get there? By driving and flying, you fucking morons. I hate these people. And if you're an eco person like that, I hope you're rotting out. Black activists, all the Black Lives Matter stuff. Obviously, the Premier League is still giving the fist like it's going to mean something. There's the biggest nonce of them all, allegedly. Old Bill Clinton. Al Gore. Hugging trees. Cattle mutilations. Mutilators. Is it the aliens doing it? Conspiracy theorists. It should have been the last card, shouldn't it? Because all this. Do you believe in all this? Is it just all coincidence? Are you seeing stuff and going, oh yeah, that could be one of the big ones. Oh yeah, that could be something that happened. Or are you making it happen because you want to make it happen? Either way, I saw these in a news article about 3-4 years ago. And after selling a couple of bits the other day, a bundle big enough to have most of my, can you say favourite cards in? Came up for sale at a price that I deemed okay, and we've got it. So we'll just go for a few. Do you believe any of these have predicted or are linked to future events? Let me know. Bill Clinton. Black Lives Matter, you could say. Obviously the island. The people in orange shirts, the island again. Obviously, that's just a dodgy card. MI5 and Maggie Thatcher because I'm British. The Pentagon. Princess Di, obviously killed. The gay activists. Hitler's brain. Bigfoot, the nuke, is very Twin Tower-like. Crop circles, political correctness with the pronouns. Still can't believe that. Aliens, another super dictator, dinosaurs, Prince Charles, South American Nazis, Saddam Hussein, the Men in Black, the March on Washington, Loch Ness Monster, joggers, the epidemic, and the Crystal Skull. But personally, those two together is kind of nuts. Hitler's brain, just to go with my other card, is just a bit comical to me. But those were the three cards that I think it's a bit weird, isn't it? What do you think, people? Let me know in the comments. This video has probably got a good chance of being banned. What do we reckon? How are YouTube going to react to certain words I've used and certain things I've said? It could go up, could get me banned. You know what? Who gives a damn? See you later, people. Bye.